Welcome everybody. It's great to have you here. My name's Scott Hebbard. I'm the Communications Manager at Sparx Systems. And today I get to talk about how to visually track and manage diagram changes. And in this webinar, we're going to discover how the new timelines feature in Enterprise Architects helps you to visualize and manage changes across your models with ease. So I'm looking forward to this presentation. We're going to be looking at the new timelines window and some of the features associated with the timelines window, which allow you to track changes at a diagram level, at a package level, an element level. There are also tabs for time-aware modeling and for version control. So timelines, what are they and why are they relevant to you? It provides you some accurate change management so you can see how a diagram or a package or an element has changed over time. It provides snapshots, and you can look at those image or baseline snapshots and compare them to the diagram that you have currently. You can add comments with every snapshot so that you can provide detail and information about what kind of production or development you've done at any given stage. You can edit the settings within Enterprise Architect to automatically save snapshots. This is done under the general model options, and you can enable auto snapshots, and you can manually record them as well. So you can go into the timelines window and add your own snapshot at any interval you like. You can easily access the timeline window by simply going Design, going to Options, and bringing up the timelines window, which appears to the right of screen. You can use the context menu to add a snapshot, and when you add a snapshot, you can automatically add a comment. So you can say this is version 1, version 2. You can provide information about what editing or context you're providing, and by providing additional detail, it makes your snapshots make sense, especially when you have multiple users and multiple people adding to a diagram. Not all of those users will necessarily have full context, so the more comments and information you can add, the better it is. There's a context menu that allows you to set the visible timeline, so you can show a range of snapshots from the last 3 days, 5 days, 30 days, and you can show and hide comments. As I said, the ability to show comments is really valuable if you have a vast number of users working on the same diagram. It's really quite valuable. What I've got on screen now is the help system, and you can see it provides information. So the current session tells you about the snapshot, how many objects and connectors you have. There's menu options. The cached image is what is used for WebEA, and you can of course have a user captured snapshot and many more. You can create an image snapshot, a baseline snapshot, which is used for comparison, and I'll show you how to do that later. And there's also an option that allows you to save both. Please note that you can show this snapshot, and you can even save the snapshot to a native XML file so that you can use that with other version control software, and you can look at the XML. Compare snapshot is something that I'm going to show you how to do, and it makes it really valuable to compare what your current diagram looks like compared to previous baselines. And you can roll back changes. So on screen, we've got a few different screenshots which show you how you can right click and compare to baseline, how you can click and view snapshots, how you can roll back changes. And we're going to use an airport example in a moment to step you through this process to show how easy it is to both create snapshots, to compare snapshots to a baseline, how to roll back changes, how to view various snapshots and quickly scroll through and cycle through all the snapshots so you can see how your diagram, package, or element has evolved over time. So we're going to do an overview of the timelines window using a very simple airport example. The airport example is a airport vehicle hire management class diagram where we have a few staff members that are working on this, including Sean, who's going to log in as an admin, and Eliza, who's our usability expert, and we have Oliver, who's our BA, and we're all going to be working on a diagram at the same time. So on screen, we have our simple class diagram. Now, it's still a work in progress, so we need to add the one-to-many and many-to-many relationships here. But we've started and we've made some progress on this system. You can see in the timelines window on the right, if I show the snapshot, when the admin sent this over, it had the airport, the vehicle, and employee staff. So it was a very, very simple diagram. And as I cycle through how this diagram has evolved over time, we've added more vehicles, we've added information on all the connectors so that the airport employs staff, the employee staff can drive or fly a vehicle, the airport can hire a vehicle. And then of course, when we looked at that, we thought, well, not only does the airport hire staff, but we also have external companies that hire vehicles as well. So we've added that to our class diagram. We've then tidied the diagram up. We've added a heading and a title, and we've started to add some attributes. Now, one thing that I've noticed here is that early on, we had the mass listed as an attribute for the aircraft and for the truck and for the car. But if mass is going to be important and stored with each of these classes, and it's important so that we don't violate any mass requirements for the runway at the airport, then perhaps we can pull this mass out and we can put it in the vehicle itself and make that as an attribute under the vehicle, which we've done here. So what you can see here is that we've got a very simple class diagram, and we've had the admin user and Eliza and other people contribute to this diagram, but we can see how this diagram has evolved over time. And we can add comments for each of these snapshots so that we can explain to the rest of the development team why changes have been made, how they've been implemented, and why they're relevant. The really great thing about using timelines window is I can right click and I can compare. Now the first thing I'm going to do is click expand all, and you can see that all of the visual elements that have moved are clearly identified here. And it even identifies the location of the visual connectors that have moved as well. At any time, I can right click and say compare to baseline, and this brings up the baseline diagram compare option, and I can see that external company has moved slightly, that bus has moved, that car has moved. And with each of these options, if I select the checkbox and click apply, I can roll back those changes. So this is really good for version control, and it's really good if you have a team of, let's say, 10 different people working on a diagram and they've all made changes. You can visually track and manage those diagram changes. If any are inappropriate, you can simply select the checkbox, such as external company here, and I can click apply, and it will restore the element position to where the element was originally. So this makes it really great for teams working together that want to track and manage how diagram changes. And not only can this happen at the diagram level, but it can also happen at the package level and the element level. So you can have a lot of fine-grained control over how changes are implemented, how they're used, how they're applied, and you can make changes simply. So you can see here that I'm going to make some changes to the heading. I'm going to update the font, and then we can show how we can go back and we can revert those changes with ease. So one of the things about the timelines window that's important and valuable is that it allows you to visually track how changes have occurred on your diagram. It allows different users to right-click and to add in a snapshot. So you can see changes have been made by other members of staff to a diagram, and you can cycle through those changes to see how a diagram has evolved over time. All of these features make it really valuable so that you can look at baselines, you can see how things have changed, you can roll back any changes, and you can make some really fine-grained adjustments, seeing exactly who and why changes have been made and when they were made and how it's impacted the overall system. So this gives you lots of control, lots of flexibility. So now that I've made a few more changes here to our diagram, I've added a few more attributes, I've changed the heading, I can now create another image snapshot, and I think it's best practice that every time you create an image snapshot, you try to provide detailed notes that explain, what changes you've made. So here I've added a bus attribute, and I'm going to save another snapshot so that when people come back and review this in the future, it's very easy for them to understand how changes have evolved over time. So now I'm going to show some of these snapshots, and I can cycle through and see what those changes look like, and I can compare to the baseline. Once again, I can expand the elements, and I can see here is my heading, and I can see that the left and right values have changed because I moved it. And if I want to roll back those changes and restore the element position and the font, I can do so like so. So if people make visual changes to the diagram that you're not happy with, we can very easily roll back those changes, and it makes it very powerful and beneficial. So what these features do is it allows you to flick through snapshots to see exactly how each component has changed over time, giving you greater insights for effective change management. And so here, once again, we're going to make some changes, and rather than having it listed as a specific airport corporation, we're going to go through and change the name accordingly. So in addition to the diagram, package, and element tabs, there's also a time-aware modeling tab. So you can also use this feature, and you can clone elements, and you can track and manage those cloned elements here in the timelines window. And there is also a section that's set aside for version control. So if you have external version control software, with the click of a button, you can compare any model changes by version control. You can check in a branch. You can see any updated changes, and do that all within the timelines window as well. So the timelines feature was introduced with Enterprise Architect 17, and Enterprise Architect 17 is available for immediate download, and you can access that now, and you can get the trial and experiment with this feature, and it's really, really easy to use. Basically, you bring up the timelines window, you right click, you use the context menu, and you can create an image snapshot, you can create a baseline, or you can create both. You can also go into the settings and automatically capture snapshots. All the information is stored in the session. Then it's stored with the diagram. So if you close down the model and you open it up, all that information is there and it's saved with the model. You'll note that it has a timestamp ID and a username, so you can see who has made the changes. And if you add a snapshot comment and provide lots of detail, it also gives you a good background and understanding, and have a detailed list of comments as to why changes have been made, who made them, what they were for. And this gives you a greater understanding and greater insights into change management at a very fine-grained level. And here you can see that we've made changes to the text and we changed the name. So the baseline comparison feature allows you to understand a range of different things, including the location or where objects have moved to, what text, what attributes have changed, and all of those changes can be rolled back. So I'd like to jump into questions, and it says, can you also track changes in elements in the browser? And yes, you can. So you can use the Elements tab and you can look at a particular element and you can see how that changes. And you can also track changes at a package level as well. So you might, in a package, for example, add a PDF or a report or a document, and that gets included in the package but not added to the diagram. And this feature will allow you to track those changes. There's a couple of questions saying, can I download this recording? So yes, this recording will be made available via the YouTube channel. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel recently, there's a great new series with Tom and Stephen that step through a range of different features in Enterprise Architect, everything from use cases and class diagrams through to requirements. And it's a new casual format that introduces some of the features in Enterprise Architect, so it's well worth a watch. There's another question here saying, does this replace version control? And the answer is no. You still have your traditional version control systems, and some people will use version control systems and servers and software that are not Enterprise Architect. But what this does do is that it provides you a very powerful and simple and easy to use way to visually track and manage changes yourself within Enterprise Architect, to save that within the model repository and to roll back changes, which you can see changes that have been made by all members of the team. And so I wanted to try and keep it brief to show how simple it is, how easy it is to use, how powerful it can be, using this simple airport example. There's another question saying, does this feature introduce any problems for version 16.1 clients? So no, because this will simply track it in Enterprise Architect 17. So there's a question saying, what is the YouTube channel? How can I find it? So if you do a Google search for the Sparx Systems YouTube channel, it's the #1 link. And when I publish this on the Sparx Systems website, we'll provide a link to the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. I might just bring it up here. So it's www.youtube.com/user/Sparx Systems. So it's under the company name. It's very easy to find. So that URL again is www.youtube.com/user/Sparx Systems, all one word without a space. and that will allow you to view a range of different topics and to check those out. So there's a few more questions coming in, but I might wrap the webinar up. There was a question saying, will this webinar be recorded and sent to the participants? So it won't be sent to the participants, but we can send a link to everyone that's registered so that they can find that. And we'll also follow up on any of the questions that we haven't covered today and answer those and put the details of that Q&A on the Sparx Systems website. So I would like to thank you all for your attendance to the webinar. Hope you've had a chance to learn a little bit about the new timelines feature. So thank you for your time and your attendance. Thank you for your great questions, and look forward to seeing you at future webinars. And don't forget that there are probably at least 20 new videos up on the YouTube site. The other thing that I also wanted to mention is that we are also slowly releasing a number of videos from the recent EA, so Enterprise Architect Global Summit. So the Sparx Systems YouTube channel has a range of different videos and content, which is really valuable and could be a very valuable resource for you. So thank you. Have a great day. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you at a future webinar.